Hey guys, welcome back. Shock here to another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Phantom Knight list for November 2021 with the October ban list. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my Phantom Knight list, of course, that's mainly focused on level 3s. Not really using any engines besides the Burning Abyss Tour Guide engine, but maximizing on consistency, minimizing on bricks for this list. And if that's something you guys are interested in, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We'll also be showing a quick combo tutorial of a very common end board you can have for this deck. So stay tuned for that at the end of the video, and I will talk about my extra and my main deck. We won't be going through a side today because basically if you take a look at my virtual world list, it'll be basically the same side. So you can guys use a reference for that. But yeah, anyways, playing 3 Torn Scale. Thank God this card came out in the Mega Tins. And I'm really liking this deck because I do have a lot of Ultras and Supers that look really nice. Obviously, you guys know Torn Scale. It's Armageddon Knight with a discard effect, and it also lets you special summon itself from the grave whenever one of the Phantom Knights cards is banished from your graveyard. So extremely strong card, absolutely love it. Then you're playing 3 Boots. So Boots is just absolutely so strong. It's a great extender for this deck. The special summon from hand is so good, and then the search to follow up for a trap card really helps this deck grind quite a bit, which is what I basically do for this deck, is grind. Grind with trap cards and make rank 3s. Then you're playing the 2 Cloaks and the 1 Gloves. So I think this is a pretty standard ratio, not much to say about it. I do like the ability Glove gives you of being able to play around hand traps like Nibiru and a bunch of other stuff. And Cloak is obviously really good for grinding stuff out as well. And then finally, we do play the 1 Stained Greaves. I know a lot of people don't play this card, but I have a specific reason for playing it. We don't normally use it for its special summon effect to get the level 4 Phantom Knight monster to the field, although it can come up. We really use this card as a 4th copy of Boots. Sometimes when you draw a lot of Phantom Knight cards in your hand, it might not be possible to do the combo without Stained Greaves, which is why you need to play it. So yeah, Stained Greaves counts as that like 4th copy of Boots that you can search from the deck, depending on what cards you kind of opened. Also, the fact that you can Foolish Braille this to the grave with your Torn Scales and then special summon from hand also kind of opens up some Phantom Knight heavy hands into good combos. So yeah, 10 Phantom Knight cards. And then onto the Burning Abyss engine, you're playing 3 Tour Guide, 1 Graph, and 1 Seer. So really minimal engine here. I was playing Libic for a little bit, but decided against it because at the end of the day, it's just a brick. And you can't, like most of the time your combo is going to go off if you have a Libic, in deck and you draw one of these cards. But the downside to it is that Libic is a complete brick when you do draw it. It really doesn't do a whole lot. I know people say, oh, you can use it as an extender, blah, 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 all these things. It's just another bad card in your deck that you don't need. I could see why people would play Libic, but right now I'm not on Libic. I like to play just the Graph and the Seer, and then the Tour Guide is just the best starter in the deck besides the Torn Scales. Onto your level 3 extenders. These are my best ones. The 1 Kagemusha Knight, the 1 Jackalope, and the 1 Tsushinoko. These 2 are incredible because you can discard them with your Torn Scales, and then the Kagemusha Knight's very good because it chain blocks for Tour Guide. It's a dark level 3 warrior, which you can search off of Rhoda. So yep, huge fan of all 3 of these extenders. I wish you could play more dangers, but unfortunately we're at just those. I was considering to play Nessie as well, but right now it's just not happening. So we are on a Psychic package. I am playing 2 Tracker and 1 Wielder. I like these cards because they're just generic level 3 extenders. A lot of people you'll see play 1-on-1 of each of these. I was also considering playing the Virtual World Yan Yan as like a cool extender with E-Telly, but I just wanted to minimize on the bricks as much as possible in this deck and just have the most consistent deck you can possibly have. The E-Tellies, of course, go along with that Psychic Engine, and then the one Rhoda to get the Kagemusha Knight, putting our extenders, generic extenders, up to a count of 9, which is really consistent. And we play so many Phantom Knight cards and one card starters that this deck really can go off and play through a lot of hand traps. Onto the Phantom Knight traps, you're playing 3 Fog Blades, 1 Sword, and 1 Shade Brigandine. So the reason why I'm playing so many is because, again, this deck is like basically the grindiest version of Phantom Knights that you can make. I really like it for its ability to bring back your Rusty from the graveyard with one of these cards and then use it again consistently without any problems. Maybe even use it twice. Maybe use, maybe resolve a Rusty 3 times in a duel or twice after your initial combo, giving you so much longevity to the deck and making it grind and grind and grind. And we play a lot of cards to help us kind of outlast that long game. And then the Shade Brigandine. So the specific reason why we play Sword over Wing is because it boosts Appaloosa's attack by 800, which gives Appaloosa another negate. Or if you just want Appaloosa to survive a battle, you can use Sword for that. Shade Brigandine is in here just because it helps you play around Nibiru. It's just an extra monster on the field to make Appaloosa with, so that's kind of why we play that card. So that is it for those cards, and then we're playing all of our non-engine cards. So the 1 Imperial Order, or the 6th trap of the deck. So Imperial Order is obviously a really good card, and in every single deck I play, I try to play at least 1 Mystic Mine out, and Imperial Order is that Mystic Mine out for this list. And then for hand traps, you're playing the 1 Ghost Ogre because, of course, we are playing the E-Telly, so Ghost Ogre is just a free interaction. The 3 Ash Blossom because it's a level 3. The 3 Ghost Ogre because it's a level 3. And then the, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell because it's a level 3. And the 3 Effect Veiler because it has a lot of applications in this meta. That'll do it for the main deck. On to the extra, short and sweet. The 1 Cherubini, very standard. The 1 Rusty to go along with it, very standard. And then, of course, the 1 Appaloosa. These are like the main ones you're going to make like all the time. They come up the most. Cherubini obviously is the best starter. Rusty is really good because it gets you to your other entire part of your deck. And then the Appaloosa for the blanket negation, which helps you play around Nibiru. Then you're playing your Nightmare Engine with IP of the IP Masquerena, the Phoenix, and the Unicorn. Really like these cards because it just gives you another option besides XYZ monsters to interrupt your opponent. Overall, very, very good. Finally, the last Link monster we play is the 1 Boral Sword Dragon. I know a lot of people like access code, but I've always kind of played, and especially with BA and now with PK, have been like gotten used to playing with Boral Sword versus the access code. And I do think Boral Sword in general is just a better card to help kill your opponent with, especially in this deck because being able to bring back like a Break Sword from the graveyard with like a Fog Blade and making this card is an easy OTK. So yes, this card's just absolutely incredible. For the XYZs, 2 Break Swords and the Levier. Break Sword's obviously incredible. I think 2 is the right number. You don't really need to play 3, but 1 is way too little because you usually use 1 for a combo and then you use 1 to like break a board and answer back and attack people. Levier for resource management, of course, when you can afford it through Nib. For your level 4 targets, 1 Nightmare and your 1 Raiders Knight. To go along with the Raiders Knight, you are playing the 1 Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. I really do like this package. Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon is incredibly strong. A free Dragoon out. They have to negate the Raiders Knight. If they don't negate the Raiders Knight, then they lose because Arc Rebellion is an instant answer to Dragoon. So absolutely incredibly powerful. Love playing these cards. They do so much. And then Nightmare, just an incredibly strong card that completely stops a lot of matchups from playing the game. Finally, you're playing the 1 Downward Magician and the 1 Zeus to round out the extra deck. Pretty self-explanatory. So again, we're not talking about the side deck because you can just reference a virtual world list. But I did want to show you guys, because I'm a nice guy, a very simple combo that you guys can have. And you know what? You can do this combo with Torn Scales and any generic level 3 extender, plus like your other 3 cards in hand, or you can do it with, and I'll show you this version because I think this version kind of highlights why I play certain cards. I'm gonna do it with a Boots. This is going to highlight your Stained Greaves quite a bit more, which is like the whole point of me playing Stained Greaves. I think it's a really strong card for this list. So what you're gonna do is you're first going to normal summon, of course, your Torn Scales. Torn Scales effect is gonna activate. You're going to discard a random card from your hand. So let's go ahead and discard this effect failure, leaving us with 3 cards in hand. Use the effect of Torn Scales, of course, is going to send us our Ancient Cloak to the graveyard. So Ancient Cloak gets banished, and then we are going to add ourselves our Stained Greaves. So Stained Greaves in hand along with Boots. We are going to then special summon Boots to the field. And then per the effect of Stained Greaves, we're going to summon Stained Greaves as well when our Boots is special summoned. From there, what we're going to do is, and it doesn't really matter what you use. If you have another Phantom Knight in hand, theoretically, you would want to use Stained Greaves and your Torn Scales just to extend further. So we're going to link away with those guys into your Cherubini. We'll just put Cherubini here above the Boots. And then Cherubini effect is going to go ahead and send you your Burning Abyss engine. So we're going to send the Graph, which is then going to summon the Seer, and we're going to put that in an arrow. And then we're going to use the Seer and the Cherubini to link off into your Rusty. Put Rusty again right above the Boots so you guys can see it. From there, Seer's effect is going to activate. We are going to bring the Cherubini back, like literally anywhere, doesn't matter. And at this point, we're going to use Rusty's effect to get us a Gloves Engrave and a Shade Brigandine on the field. So we don't have any traps in our graveyard right now, so Shade Brigandine is live to summon. As you can see, we have a Torn Scale, we have a Greaves, and we have a Gloves Engrave, which is super nice. And it's going to be able to do quite a bit here. So this actually lets us play it through Nibiru. You're going to go ahead and summon out the Shade Brigandine. At this point, if they Nibiru you, which they totally can if they want to, you then are completely fine because you have a Torn Scales, a Gloves to get a Revival Trap, and another Phantom Knight name, meaning you can make Break Sword. That Break Sword would go ahead, summon to the field. You would pop your opponent's Nibiru with the Break Sword, and you'd bring back an Evil Swarm Nightmare. And after you make the Evil Swarm Nightmare, you would, or I guess you could do IP Masquerena, literally whatever you want. It's however you want to do it, really. And then you have access to getting your Boots in the grave, I believe, as well. So yeah, so pretty good stuff. But anyways, let's go into the normal combo. So we would link these 4 cards into Appaloosa. And now it doesn't matter if they had Nibiru or not, because now they're done for. So you're going to have the Rusty and the Appaloosa on board, and then from there you can go ahead and do the same thing that I was talking about, where you use the Gloves to banish to send a random trap. Let's just send the Sword because it's the worst one. And then we can banish the Sword to summon to summon out whatever. We can go with the Stained Greaves, I guess. And then you can use your Boots engraved banish to add your Fogblade to hand. When the Boots activates to banish, you can go ahead and summon your Torn Scale and overlay those into Breaksword. Breaksword effect. Make sure you put link it into your spot here with Rusty. Rusty effect's gonna pop the Breaksword, and then you're going to summon out your Nightmare with, of course, 2 materials underneath it. Where's my extra deck? So yeah, so that's pretty much the end board. You're going to end up having a Nightmare plus an Appaloosa and your Rusty, and then you're also going to have 2 cards in hand plus the Fogblade that you searched. So overall, a really, really strong board. And you have so much follow-up in graveyard. And if you take a look here, we end up having still the Torn Scale the Torn Scale in graveyard with the Stained Greaves, which is pretty nice. You can special summon something for free, and Evil Storm Nightmare. That is if they break the board, right? So I guess that you won't necessarily have that engraved for next turn. That being said, if you wanted to, you could link away your Nightmare and like your Appaloosa next turn for something. Theoretically, they're going to crack your board too. But yeah, so that's the play. Hope you guys enjoyed the general concept of the deck and how consistent it is. I really enjoy playing it. But if you guys have any questions or want to kind of explore the idea further of how this deck works, let me know. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.